building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Down out, I was worth it and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Yeah, I think unfortunately, we do have a lot of women that are not making us look good out there as women. They are making us look like trash. His video was a prime example of what men are thinking all modern women are, and we're not. We are not all in this bubble of bullshit, catty, fighting, trying to be, the one up and just trying to get what we could get out of a dude while we can. It's like, no.
And it's like I said, to me, that video, so many men are going to come across it, and it's like you're now going to taint their minds and have them, and I guess with brainwashing, because the younger, naive ones, because somebody done told him that he got that from someone. Right. He's eating something someone that taught him, maybe his dad, grandpa, somebody done said those things to him, and now he thinks he's educating other men when you're putting false information out there, because not every woman is the same. And for one, you should not be judging one woman off, that one woman for everybody else. Like, right. You should think that one woman for who she is, and right. Not a grandmother or her mother, because like you said, those are so different generations.
Right. I always have to remind people, I'm like, you do know there was a time where unfortunately women, their value was between their legs. That's some real shit. That's some real history. Like, right. Real life history. It ain't that many generations ago, because actually my great grandmother was sold or given away at 13. Okay. My great grandmother, that ain't that many generations. That's the fourth generation. My great grandmother was given to a guy who was 30 something. I think he was like 35 or some shit like that. So it ain't that long ago that in my line, that was a real thing. Mm-hmm. So I kind of look at people like, no, that was a real thing. And unfortunately, it's still in the DNA. And we do got to keep cleansing this shit. But a lot of women, I don't think, are making it better, because there's that what can you get in that thing of competing on the more dates, or who's taking you where, or where they flossing and showing you out. And me personally, when I'm looking at people too, I wouldn't even want a guy at this point that is out with different women all the time. Like, you just taking all these different women out. I don't even think I would be interested with someone like that. Just be on some real shit. I want someone a little bit more exclusive. I want you to be a little bit more picky.
That would be such a turn, even to the fact that if a guy even approached me on something like that, like, to me, that's like a turn on. Because to me, it's like, okay, you do this for everybody. Like, right. What? Okay, you're putting me in a category with everybody else, because she may wanted that 5-star restaurant as your first. Now you think you need to take me to a 5-star restaurant, when to me, you should judge me for me, not that I'm just like somebody else, and it's not even about if you have it or not, because to me, like, those type of things, to me, there's really no thought to it. You could hire, the most expensive restaurant, take them there just so they could brag, or even the guys, so they can brag and say, oh, I took to wherever, and I took her here, and I did this for her, and that girl may ghost you for the next dude who took her somewhere more fancy.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, let's have a conversation. Let me see what you're about, because if the conversation ain't shit, we ain't gonna get far.
And then some women that's like, I don't even like this dude. This dude is so rude. And this, but she'll stay because he took her to the 5-star restaurant. And it's like, oh, that's okay. Like, me personally, I don't give a fuck what you paid for. If I'm not feeling you, I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm spending all this money because nobody told you to do it. But I'm not going to sit here and feel obligated because you spent all this money and now have to deal with your rude ass, your cocky ass or whatever. Because honestly, a lot of that comes with that type of territory. A
Mm,
lot of
yeah,
that with the money and the this and the that. They're rude, they're nasty, they feel obligated, they feel like somebody owes them something, you know.
right.
And I'm no, I'm not
I
doing
feel like that's the dude that is, expecting some box at the end of the night,
right.
and at 300, he's like, "Oh, so we going back to my place?"
I seen it on TikTok. Some dude flew, I don't know if you've seen it, he flew the chick out. He was
Oh, I saw that.
he was talking to her for 2 months, flew her out. He expected some pussy. She didn't give him no pussy, so he took her
He
back
was
to
like, "Bye."
the back. And she was, this is my shit. And he's like, oh, but you're not going to get, no. Like,
So
so
you wasted all that money just to send her back because she didn't give you none.
exactly. You couldn't just get to know her. Maybe the second go round, she would have gave you some dumbass.
Like, real shit. You couldn't wait a day. She probably was just trying to see, like, let me see,
Right.
maybe a
If
day.
I'm getting here, like you said, maybe
Let me
before.
get to know you, see if I wanna give you some.
Right. The day she was leaving, she probably would have surprised him and gave him some, you don't know. But like
Right,
the second time, maybe she would have flew herself out the second time. But you can't
right,
expect like some chick to give you some coochie because you flew her out. Like,
right. And honestly, that's on you. If you decide to say, "Oh, I'm gonna fly you out," you cannot expect to get anything from that.
mm-hmm.
Not every woman is like, "Oh, yeah, he flying me out, so what, we fucking." No, no, there's nothing attached to this shit. There's nothing.
That's what I mean. Like it goes back to that. Like, oh, because you flew me out, you expect me to give you some coochie. What?
No.
That's like if
No.
you flew a dude out or whatever, you expect him to eat your coochie. No. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's if we flipped it around,
Right.
well, I expect you, nigga, I flew you out. You better eat this shit. Like that's a hell of an expectation.
Right, right. It's like, if you wanted me to pay my own ticket, just say so.
Right. You know what? If that's the case, yep, I would have paid for my own
Right,
thing. I would have not felt obligated. You would have not felt entitled to because it's
right,
felt entitled to because he paid for her ticket.
right. Like, no, and I think that's where people have to get away from. There's nothing attached to the cooch. There's nothing attached. No dinner, no food, no nothing. Nothing is attached. If I decide to give it to you, it's because I decided to give it to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Like nothing you do any different is gonna pursue me to want to give you some. Like if I'm not feeling you like that, I'm not feeling you like that. You could
Right.
say
No matter what you spend it.
you could fly me out. You could do what you want. I'm not feeling you like that. I'm not feeling you like that. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of women. I always say this. I was a horrible single woman in all these years because I didn't give a fuck what you had. I didn't give a fuck what you was packing down there. I didn't give a fuck what your head game was. Fuck you and that shit. Bye.
Mm,
I've just never been that woman to be that. Like, all that shit does not matter to me at the end of the day. If you an asshole, you an asshole. Fuck it. Bye.
right.
I'm not begging you for shit. I'm not chasing after your ass for shit. No. And you'll see a lot of people deal with a lot of bullshit for no reason at all. It's just like, what? Because this person got money? You dealing
Mhm.
with fucking bullshit for what?
A lot of women do that. A lot of women deal with dudes who are real nasty toward them, who has no respect for women, period. But
Mm-mm.
because he's sending roses to your job or because he's, taking you to those five-star restaurants and he is doing those
Mhm.
things, they put up with that and he's hella disrespectful. He
Right.
don't have respect for any women,
Right.
but they stay and they deal with it just so they can brag to their friends and say, oh, I went here and he took me here and he did this with me.
Mm-mm. I used to say that because, you would hear women like, "Oh, I've been with him this many years and I've been through this." And I would be like, "You want a medal? Because you didn't went through hell and back with this motherfucker?
Hmm.
You're not gonna get one from me. I don't fucking give kudos for that shit. Like,
Right.
that's your choice to go through hell and back with a motherfucker. Like, no, I ain't
Right.
about that life.
You decided to stay through abuse or you decided to stay through cheating. You decided to stay through these things and now you want to brag about it. Like, I
Right.
mean, that's really nothing to brag about.
Mm-mm.
That
I'm
does
like,
that doesn't make a relationship so strong. Oh, because we went through stuff.
yeah, I'm definitely not on the team of that. I'm a woman where I'm like, I can do bad all by my fucking self. I do not need me a partner that is gonna tear me down. I
Hmm.
need someone who's just as strong-willed as me, who's out there getting it just like me, and who's trying to have just fun and happiness. Like that's all I'm trying to do. I don't want all that other bullshit, all that other extra shit, all that other ego and fucking, if you need a bunch of women, leave me alone. I'm not the one for you.
Hmm.
If you need to play games and lie and do all this bullshit, leave me the fuck alone. I'm about peace. Like I don't give a fuck about your money. That shit ain't gonna make me stay with you. Like, I got my own money.
They do. They're so toxic, but then they throw out that money. But they know who to do it to. They know what type of women who is gonna deal with it. Those women that want to brag to their friends and show off this and say he did this, and then behind closed doors, you got a black eye. You're crying. You're
Mm,
going on. He's with another woman.
right,
You're having some knowing you don't even like women, but you
right.
want to satisfy
Mm,
having threesomes with.
mm,
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. It's a lot
right,
going on. They doing
right,
it when it's poly shit because they don't want to lose him because they not
right.
in poly life. They don't like that shit. They doing it because they want to keep him.
Yeah, I ain't about that life.
Yeah. Me.
Anybody with that poly shit, don't invite me because I ain't about that shit. One thing is I'm a very strong woman. It can't be multiple of us in this situation. You can't have two head of the households. It ain't gonna fucking work. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It's not. It's not like that. That's amazing to me. That's the new to me. That's the new way of these men cheating.
It's
This
it it's a
poly.
thing though. It's a thing though. A couple years ago, I remember was just kind of getting back out into the dating scene, and I want to say 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, where I had this couple trying to like recruit me, and it was like they were trying to recruit me on a team and shit. And I was like, y'all are more like a sales team.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It was like, y'all like really selling this shit, this polyamory shit. Like, no, was it polyamory? I can't remember the term of this shit, but they were like really selling it. But I'm one of those people who I ask a lot of questions about shit. I'm like, okay, so tell me more about y'all situation. And then this girl was telling me her whole life story and everything that was going on. And I was like, oh, y'all got drama. Like, this is a whole fucking drama. The main girl don't like you decide, but now you're the another girl in the house and you got the man. And I'm like, and y'all trying to invite somebody else in your house?
Right. Right. Y'all don't even have shit right between y'all.
I'm like, she don't even like your ass. How the fuck she gonna like me if I come aboard? I was just like intrigued about this. Like, y'all sound like a straight sales team. Like, y'all really trying to get somebody on your team. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Where look, if y'all are happy with that, y'all are happy with that. I personally don't feel like anybody going into those relationships are truly happy. I think it's a lot of I'm alone, being alone, because I'm the type of person to tell you I ain't sharing. I don't want to share. I don't
Mhm.
want to share my person with other people. I don't want to share them with one other person. I damn sure don't want to share with five other motherfuckers. Like,
And like what
like
I
you see that show where the dude had all the wives and shit. What was that fucking
oh
Sister
yeah.
Wives?
Uh-huh. And look
Nah,
now, I think they all left him. I think they all
I
because
mean,
starts, I say this all the time, and maybe I'm wrong, but it has to do with self-esteem. Though that the more self-esteem you have, you start to say to yourself, you know what, I ain't being a part of this shit no more.
worth more than that. These girls were sitting here waiting. They had a one particular day that you could see this motherfucker a week, right? On that day, that one day, I used to watch the shows. Like one day a week, you had him because there were so many. If your birthday landed on somebody else's day, you couldn't see your person on that day. If your anniversary landed on somebody else's day, you couldn't have that day. It was like, so these girls would be going through it, like not being able to be with your husband on your anniversary because he with the other wife. Wait, what?
Mm-mm.
I think it comes down to that, what you're willing to put up with. I've seen, couples that of, invite somebody else into their bed, trying to live this. They've been there for, they've been together a long time. They're trying to spice up their love life, and it doesn't work because at
Mhm,
some point somebody is going to get too involved into this threesome.
mhm,
Somebody's going to come along where your man or your woman is way too involved in this
mhm.
situation. Somebody is going to get jealous. And I think that's why I'm always telling people, you guys need to have a conversation in the beginning about your sex life. Sex needs to be talked about in the beginning. People don't want to talk about sex because they
Mhm.
think it's taboo, but I think that needs to be a valid conversation of, let me see how crazy your ass gonna get and if I'm even okay to go there. Because if you need certain things that I can't give you, why waste my time?
Right. But then that's like my thing is this, there's so much other things you can do before inviting another woman into your bed. Like it's
It comes with your relationship though. If you're that bored with me, I mean, damn, that's kind of like, damn, we didn't been all this time and you that bored that we need to spice it up with someone else. I kind of feel like, damn,
Mhm. Yeah, I
that's
don't
it.
that to me, that's just so bullshit to me. I don't know. That's just bullshit to me. That's just back to men being able to have their cake and eat it too type things. That's just like with
I've
that.
seen some women do it though. I've seen some women do it where they're the ones that's like trying to, get the
I guess that's them having their cake and eating it too because
Mhm.
that that works for them. That's what
Right,
they like, and they like. I don't want to. I guess
right,
step out on him, but if we invite a woman, I can still get that fulfillment. So that means that's they're fulfilling their shit. But to me, it go. I don't know. It's just now I see so many women doing it. That's quote unquote not even bi or gay, but they're doing it to, for satisfying their man or trying to keep their relationship going. But
right,
it goes back to like, damn. To me, there's so many other things we can probably do that we did not do
right,
or we can involve a whole like why does it have to be straight to let's have a threesome what
right, right.
like
I
yeah,
kind of feel like it might be time to separate. I just feel like at that point, if you feel like you've maxed out with me, you feel like you've maxed out all the positions and shit, I might not be the one for you no more.
right like if it's I don't know it's just I never understood that part I didn't see
Yeah.
I mean I know it's a lot of men fantasy type thing but I've also heard from men I've heard a lot of men say like if I had a wife, I wouldn't want my wife to have
Right,
a threesome with someone. If it's a chick I'm just dealing with, then I don't mind. But my wife, I wouldn't bring,
right.
another woman into it.
I
And I,
mean, because see if a man like the man is like, oh yeah, bring another dude into it. There's always another chick, right? You don't never see the other dude, right? You don't see that shit because the dude ain't going for that. Hell to the motherfucking no.
I want to see his wife getting pound on by another man. He do not want to see her face when that other man is in her. Oh, don't he gonna flip?
No.
They cannot handle that shit.
No, no. Like,
It,
that's why I say it's more to it that people don't want to address. They don't want to address that stuff. And if you had kind of talked about this stuff, I'm sure somewhere in the conversation this person had those thoughts before. Like somewhere before the relationship, this person had
mm,
these
right.
other kinky shit that they need. And some people need the stuff. It's a part of them. And I'm like, nah, we need to have a conversation. Let me
Mhm.
how crazy you need it. Cause I ain't going too crazy.
Right. I expect you. I mean, if you did it before you ever met me, I'm glad you got it out your system. You know, to piggyback on that. If that was a fantasy of yours, you fulfilled it. And you know what I mean?
Did you
Like,
check off all your boxes?
right, before you get with me, because I'm not doing no crazy off the hook shit. Like, I'm not, no. Like, I don't
But
know. So,
it's a thing though.
mm,
I deal with a lot of relationships and a lot of people, a lot of relationships kind of fall because you'll see even some of the guys are into some really, really kinky, crazy cross-dressing type stuff and never they can't express that to their person. And I'm like, if you had chose someone in the beginning
mm-hmm,
who was comfortable, you wouldn't
mm-hmm,
have to hide and then now have this fucking 20-year relationship that you need to confess all your sins to and fucking break apart. And now you got this person who didn't know who the hell you were is broke down because the person that they thought you were, you're not. And now they got to mentally put this the fuck together. And I think that's the problem with people. It's like it's like so many people are afraid to be them and be that authentic. You're going to find someone who loves you just for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kinky and all, they're going to fucking love that part about you. But it's
Yeah.
the trying to hide that and lie and then expect someone to be okay with that shit. It's like, what?
Because not only are you hiding it for so long, now that other person is like now blaming themselves. What did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Now, now you have that person questioning their shit. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all to you.
Right. Even my mom had told me some stories of stuff that she did with my dad, which I was like, Mom, I did not need to fucking know this shit. But okay. But it was like, but she was like, I just did it because I thought that's what you do as a wife. Now in her time, I could see that being a thing where a lot of women think, well, I'm just doing this for, my husband because that's what he wants. But this day and age, I can't really see that. In this day and age, I feel like we got to start having some more conversations, because if you really don't like something and you're doing it, it's going to come crashing down at some point.
It is. I think that's what it is too. Like, I think a lot of women don't realize that it's okay for you to say, I'm not into that, or it's okay for you to have those boundaries and say, I'm not, that's not my thing. It's not. Right. And I think a lot of them, instead of saying that, they're going with the flow, and it is damaging them more. Because now, even afterwards, like I said, even with women who aren't bi, women who are not into women, they're doing this to fantasies. And now afterwards, you're dealing with it. Now you're questioning yourself, maybe questioning your sexuality. Now you're questioning shit.
Right.
Now you're in your head, and it's like, or because you never had those thoughts or feelings before, but now you're like, I don't know. I just think some more women need to be able to say, nah, that's not for me. Not, can we do something else, or maybe we should do this, or, and even with men, I think some men need to think twice and say, I know maybe that's your fantasy, that's their fantasy, but if you know
realistic.
You're right. If you know your woman, your wife, your girl is not into that, she's not into women, why don't even put her in a situation where she has to make that choice? Because not everyone say yes because she wants to satisfy, wants to, she don't want it to come in between.
I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became.